Hello, my dear curious and studious students of surgery. Myself, Dr. Mahesh Chaudhary. I am warm welcoming you in my surgery lecture series. This surgery lecture series contains entire surgery with anesthesia, with radiology, with orthopedic. So stay tuned with us. Let's start our surgery lecture series. Welcome, my dear friends, in my surgery lecture number 93, that is the disease of the veins. In this lecture, we will cover the varicose veins, complications of the varicose veins, treatment of varicose veins, that is the ligation, stripping, venous ulcer, venous thrombosis, superficial vein thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis, that is DVT, and pulmonary embolism. All points are covered. Now first we start with the disease of the vein. The first is the varicose veins. When a vein becomes dilated, elongated and tortuous, the vein is said to be the varicose. The common sites of the varicosity are superficial venous system of the lower limbs, affecting either the long saphenous or the short saphenous vein or the both. Esophageal varix affecting veins of the gastrocystis. Varicosity of the hemorrhoidal vein, that is the piles, and varicosity of the spermatic vein, that is the varicocele. All these are the common sites of the varicosity. Varicose veins of the lower limb. First we will see the varicose veins of the lower limb. Venous drainage of the lower limb can be conveniently decided under 3 heads, that is the deep vein, superficial veins, and the perforating or communicating veins, which connect the superficial with the deep veins. The characteristics features of the deep veins are these are the numerous valves in these veins. These valves direct the flow of the blood upwards and prevents regurgitation of flow downwards. With soleus muscles, which is the most powerful muscles of the calf, there are venous plexus and sinuses. These are the devoid of valves, and these are the deep veins are the posterior tibial and its tributaries, popliteal and peroneal and femorals. And superficial veins are these veins lie in the subcutaneous fat between the skin and the deep fascia. These superficial veins of the lower limb are long and short saphenous veins with their tributaries. Now the perforating or communicating veins are indirectly perforators and direct perforators. Dear students, here is the image showing the healthy vein, and second is the varicose veins, where is a elongation, dilatation and tortuosity of the vein is clearly seen. There is the incompetence of wall, so there is a stagnation of the blood in the vein. Now this is the clearly image showing the superficial varicosity of the veins. Now the surgical pathology is that this is the penalty of the erect posture of the humankind. Defect in saphenofemoral walls, long saphenous vein is mostly affected. Second is the defect in the saphenopopliteal, that is the short saphenous. Defect in wall of perforator, that is the either long or short saphenous. Mechanical factors are pregnancy, tumor in the leg, DVT and AV fistula, extensive cavernous hemangioma. These are the surgical pathology affected in the varicosity of the veins. Now the predisposing factors are prolonged standing work, obesity, pregnancy, old age, athletes, rickshaw puller. All these are the predisposing factors. Now dear students, here is the image is clearly seen, that is the direction of the blood flow in the deep perforating and superficial veins. The deep vein is shown within the muscles belly, and the perforating veins pass through the deep fascia of the link to the superficial and deep fascia, where the diagram A showing the muscle contraction forces blood proximally in the deep system, and while the valves in the perforating veins prevent it from being pumped from the deep to the superficial system. And diagram B is showing that during the muscles relaxation, the deep system is refilled from the superficial system and the distal limb. And this is the C diagram showing the muscle contraction in the distal limb forces blood into the superficial system due to the incompetence of the perforating venous walls, which results in superficial venous dilatation and tortuosity. Now the clinical features. First, the symptoms are pain and cramp in the leg. Local examination, the fluid filled examination is present there. And on the palpation, the Brody Trendelenburg test to determine the incomplete of the saphenofemoral junction. The Brody Trendelenburg test is that this test is performed to determine the incompetency of the saphenofemoral wall and other communicating system. This test can be performed in two ways. Second is the tourniquet test. It can be called a variant of the Trendelenburg test. In this test, the tourniquet is tied around the thigh or leg at different levels after the superficial veins have been made empty by the raising the leg in recumbent position. Next is the Pratt test. This test is performed to know the position of the leg perforators. Next is the Persist test to know where the deep veins are normal or not. Schwartz test. In the long standing case, if the tap is made on the long saphenous varicose veins in the lower part of the leg, an impulse can be felt at the saphenous opening with the other hands. And next is the Morris's test or cuff impulse test. In this test, the limb is elevated to empty the veins. The patient is asked to cuff forcibly. An expansile impulse, if felt in the long saphenous varicose vein, it may be presumed that the saphenofemoral wall is incompetent. Next is the Fagan's method to indicate the sites of the perforators. In standing position, the places of the excessive bulges within the varicosities are marked with the skin pencil. The patient now lies down and affected limb is elevated and the heel is kept supported. The examiner palpates along the line of the marked varicosities carefully so that he can find gap and small pits in the deep fascia which transmit the incompetence perforators. Now the other examinations are examinations of the abdomen. This is the essential to exclude the pregnancy and presence of any pelvic tumors. Second is the vaginal and rectal examinations. It must be done to exclude the pelvic tumors. And third is the peripheral arterial pulses should also be examined to exclude the presence of arterial insufficiency. And the investigation is to be made in this condition, that is the varicose veins, those are the ascending phlebography, thermography, radioisotope scanning, radioactive fibrinogen studies, ultrasonic Doppler for the saphenofemoral, sapenopopliteal reflux, incompetence and patency. Now the complications of the varicose veins are: first is the thrombophlebitis. This means the inflammation of the superficial veins. In this case, the veins becomes red and feel like tender cord in the subcutaneous tissues. Second is the pigmentation. This is the particularly seen in the lower part of the leg. Brownish to black pigmentation is noticed. This is due to the hemosiderin deposits from breakdown of RBC which have come out of the thin walled veins. So there is a color change of the internal malleoles of the leg. Third is the eczema, chronic dermatitis due to the exacerbation and breaking down of the RBCs in the lower part of the leg. The skin may itch. Fourth is the ankle flare. This has been discussed as earlier in this lecture. Venous ulcer. This results more oftenly from deep vein thrombosis than from the varicose vein only. Local anoxia or edema, lipolysis of the subcutaneous fat is there. And the next is the hemorrhage. Hemorrhage from ruptured varicose vein is not uncommon. Seventh is the peritonitis. This occurs in case of the long-standing cases, particularly if a venous ulcer is formed over the medial surface of the tibia. Calcification is occasionally seen in the walls of the veins which are varicose for many years. And next complication of the varicose vein are the equinus deformity of the foot may result from the long-standing varicosity. This is due to bad practice of the patient of walking on the toes for relief of the pain due to the varicosity. Now the treatment is, there are three modes of the treatment are available. First is the palliative treatment, second is the operative treatment, third is the Fagan's injection or compression treatment. First is the palliative treatment. This treatment has limited scope and indication. Second is the operative treatment, in which the ligation of the varicose veins and ligation and stripping is done. And third is the Fagan's injection and compression. Dear students, there are very good videos on the YouTube of the ligation of the varicose vein and stripping by the stripper. You can watch it. Now here is the image showing the varicose veins and the normal veins are there. This is the image of ligation, and this second image is the stripping is done in the saphenous veins. This is the third image showing the removed total long saphenous veins, varicose veins. Now the next is the venous ulcer. Venous ulcer has two main etiologies. First is the ulceration may be associated with the demonstrable varicose veins. Secondly, the such ulceration may follow the thrombosis and phlebitis. Definition is clearly venous ulcers mean the ulcer formed from the vein, and the etiology is the varicose vein due to the thrombosis and phlebitis is the deep and perforating veins. Pathogenesis is clearly fibrogens escapes from the blood, diffusion of O2 and other nutrients, hard and thick tissues of the veins, stasis and dermatitis is developed with browning edema, pigmentation on the skin, cutaneous atrophy, fat necrosis is there, and then tissue death, and finally ulceration of the vein. The investigations in the venous ulcer are ascending functional phlebography and venography is to be done to know the size of the lumen of the deep veins, so presence of walls and incompetency, existence of the high pressure leak in the calf. All these are detect on the phlebography or on the venography. Now the treatment of the venous ulcer are, the first is the conservative treatment, elevation of the affected limb, passive and active movements of the calf muscles, firm elastic blue line bandage spirally, effective antibiotics, cleaning and dressing with Izole and Sto2. Now the surgical treatment is sclerotherapy by the sodium tetradecyl injection. Larger ulcers need split skin graft, bypass operation for thrombus defense, valvular repair, valvular insertions bypasses, artificial valvular transplantation with autograft by the axillary or brachial veins. Now the next point is the venous thrombosis. Venous thrombosis is a very common surgical problem which has great influence on the morbidity and mortality rate in the surgical patients. Now the etiological factors are three factors playing the major roles in etiology of the venous thrombosis, and those are, first is the stasis, second is the injury to the vessels wall, and third is the hypercoagulability of the blood. Now, stasis is probably the most important clinical factor to cause the venous thrombosis. A reduction of blood flow in the major veins by half has been shown immediately following induction of the general anesthesia in debilitating diseases. Here is the image of the deep vein thrombosis is clearly seen on your screen. Second image showing the pigmentation of the venous ulcers, and this is the clear-cut venous ulcer is seen. Now, the predisposing factors are major injuries, falling operations, visceral cancer, tobacco smoking, diabetes, CHP, shock, polycythemia vera, long period of sitting or bed rest, pregnancy, infection, varicose vein, obesity, using and contraceptive pills, stress lead to hypercoagulability and damage to the endothelium, platelets, adherence, thrombotic process with fibrin deposition is there, and then development of the venous ulcer. Now the result of the thrombosis is proximally pulmonary embolism and infarction is take place there, locally recanalization, distally increase the distal venous pressure, and due to that the edema develops, then local arterial pressure is rises and blood flow ceases and venous gangrene is developed. Now the types of the venous gangrene, there is a thrombophlebitis and phlebothrombosis. Thrombophlebitis means superficial veins, vein wall due to the acidic infusion, and phlebothrombosis is due to the DVT emboli, that is the pulmonary embolism. Now the superficial vein thrombosis, that is the thrombophlebitis. As mentioned earlier, such thrombophlebitis occurs more often in the varicose veins or after the intravenous infusion. This is also seen in association with the polycythemia, polyarteritis, Buerger's disease and visceral cancers. Clinical features are, the patient are usually complain of the painful cord-like inflamed area, the inflamed veins, that is the painful cord-like inflamed area, redness, tenderness and local induration. Now the treatment is, operation is almost never required and embolization never occurs or abscess is there. Hot bath, compression, elastic support or crepe bandage, head low position with leg elevated, anticoagulants and enzymatic clot dissolves and antibiotics and anti-inflammatory drugs should be given. Dear students, here is the image of the superficial vein thrombosis is clearly seen on your image. This is the second image showing the superficial vein thrombosis. Now the most important entity is the deep vein thrombosis, that is the phlebothrombosis, and DVT is also called. The etiology has been considered under the heading of the venous thrombosis. The main predisposing factors are, one is the stasis, second is increased blood coagulability, and third is the injury to the vessels wall. The calf is the most frequent site of the thrombosis. Deep vein thrombosis occurs more oftenly after operations, any debilitating illness, immobility for a considerable period. Childbirth and some sort of the local trauma is there. Now the clinical features is the aching pain aggravated by muscular activity at the site of the thrombus, swelling and tenderness. Here is a typical picture of the deep vein thrombosis, where the patient is pressing due to the pain. Deep vein thrombosis, the pathology is clearly seen. First image showing the normal vein, second is the collapse of the walls, and third is the thrombosis in the vein is clearly seen. Now the Homan sign, test described by him known as a Homan sign. First physician to emphasize the importance of the venous thrombosis, source of the pulmonary embolism. DVT is the source of the pulmonary embolism. The test Homan sign is passive forcefully dorsiflexion of the foot with knee extension will increase the pain in the calf. This is the Homan sign. Passive elongation of the gastrocnemius and soleus muscle increase the irritative pain. Gently in manipulation should dissolve the emboli to cause the pulmonary embolism. So do not press the DVT. Always remember, students. Now the Moses sign, squeezing of the cause muscles calf muscles from side to side is painful in DVT, but this may be the risky. Morris sign, squeezing of the muscles from side to side is painful in DVT. Site of involvement for the DVT is the calf vein thrombosis, femoral vein thrombosis, iliofemoral venous thrombosis and pelvic veins. Now the investigation should be made in the DVT, that is the phlebography, which is done by the 45% of the sodium diatrozoate, which showing the exact location of the thrombosis in the deep veins. Radioactive fibrinogen test, Doppler ultrasonography, plethysmography, venous pressure measurement, duplex ultrasound imaging, and how to prevent this DVT. To prevent the DVT, to minimize the venous stasis, to avoid venous intimal injury, to reduce hypercoagulability, elevation of leg during operation, irritating intravenous solutions, use of the anticoagulants, intermittent pneumatic compressions, electrical calf stimulation, active plantar flexion, elastic stockings using. Now the treatment, first is the conservative treatment. Bed rest. Bed rest is indicated for about 7 days. Elevation of legs above the level of the heart is decreases the pressure in the veins. Third is elastic stocking using when walking. It started an elastic stocking should be used. Heparin. This drug prevents thrombus formation by inhibiting the formation of the thromboplastin and also acts as an antithrombin to inactivate thrombin. Its effectively can determined by measuring the clotting time and partial thromboplastin time, that is the PTT. And dose abruptly reduced in the heparin remained. After discontinuing the heparin, oral anticoagulant therapy started. Coumarin derivative, that is the tablet warfarin. Fibrinolytic drugs, that is the streptokinase, should be aspirin, dipyridamole and sulfenpyrazone are the pharmacological agents that inhibit the platelet function and have been used considerably in the prevention of venous thrombosis. Now the surgical treatment, that is the venous thrombectomy with the Fogarty catheter, that is the femoral-iliac subclavians, radial and ulnar, has to be done by the thrombectomy by the Fogarty's catheter. Prevention of the pulmonary embolism, that is the ligation of the femoral vein, ligation of the iliac vein and narrowing the inferior vena cava. This would be definitely prevent the pulmonary embolism in the DVT. Thrombolysin by the injection of the streptokinase with the help of the catheter. Use of the heparin therapy up to the 60,000 international units in the 24 hours for 7 to 10 days. But there is a high risk of the hemorrhage, always remember there. Now the next point of this lecture is pulmonary embolism. The pathophysiology of the pulmonary embolism is thromboid breakdown loose from the deep vein thrombosis, pass through the right and ventricle and lodge in the pulmonary arteries. This is known as the pulmonary embolism. Small emboli lodging in the lobar or segmental arteries may cause death, but the mechanism is not clearly known. It may be that the intense reflex, bronchoconstriction and the vasoconstriction may lead to such death. Single small embolism may also result in infarction followed by the infection, abscess and empyema. Multiple small emboli may produce arterial obstruction, pulmonary hypertension and right ventricular failure. Large thrombus, major pulmonary artery, immediate death due to vasovagal shock, right ventricular failure and inadequate transfer of O2 to CO2 and in pulmonary circulations. Majority pulmonary emboli originates in lower extremity, that is the 85%, and pelvic vein, vena cava and upper extremity, that is the 5%, and originates from the right atrium, that is the only 10%. Clinical features is dyspnea, chest pain, hemoptysis and hypotension suddenly. Now here is the image showing the mechanism of the pulmonary embolism. There is a veins with thrombus, embolus is there, it dislodge and going into the cardiopulmonary system. Blood clots occluding the right and left pulmonary arteries, and there is obstruction and there is a inadequate transfer of the O2 and CO2 in pulmonary circulations and suddenly death. This is the another image showing the same mechanism. Physical examination is tachycardia, tachypnea, shock, cyanosis, pleural rub, dilatation of the cervical vein due to the right ventricular failure, and investigation. The most characteristic finding is in the chest X-ray is diminished pulmonary vascular markings. Second is ECG, ST segment depression followed by the T-wave inversion. Chemical test increased LDH activity, lactic dehydrogenase, increased serum bilirubin, normal SGOT, serum glutamic oxaloacetic transaminase, pulmonary arteriography, radio-opaque material in right atrium filling defect, pulmonary radioisotope scanning, IV injection, radioactive substances. Now the treatment is first the conservative, anticoagulant, fibrinolytic agents like streptokinase through the pulmonary angiogram, correction of the metabolic acidosis, soda bicarb should be given. Now the surgical treatment, first is the ligation and diversion of the femoral vein ligation, inferior vena cava, venous interruption, plastic umbrella, and under the radiological control should be performed placation of the femoral vein and profunda vein. Pulmonary embolectomy by Trendelenburg in 1908. First, Trendelenburg has performed this pulmonary embolectomy operation done by the cardiopulmonary bypass, and mortality rate is high. So this is the very fatal condition. Here, dear students, there are very good videos on YouTube, that is the DVT which can lead to pulmonary embolism, rubber band ligation and internal for the varicose veins, treatment of the varicose veins, the stripping, ligation and stripping of the varicose veins are available. You can watch it. Here is the end of our surgery lecture number 93, that is the diseases of the veins. Thank you, students.